Hey, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
We're the Rambling Reviewers.
And today we're looking at The Lost World.
Note that we're not talking about the Jurassic Park film.
I was just about to say that.
We're talking about the original film.
The original silent film, The Lost World, with Professor Challenger.
Yeah, this movie should just be Professor Challenger, the fucking movie. Because fuck you, that is the best character to come out of fiction I've seen in a long time.
Is so over the top. Is just so hot-blooded, you know?
This guy would fit into Gurren Lagann easily.
He would just be like, oh, we're gonna, you know, if anyone had to go to school in Gurren Lagann, they would study under Professor Challenger.
Okay, so the movie starts in London, I think. Yes, London.
Because, yeah, that's the only town in England anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, and they're at this newsroom, and they're talking about how, oh, yes, Professor Challenger has...
He claims he's found a place in, I guess it was South America, where dinosaurs still live.
Yeah.
On this one isolated plateau somewhere.
But they said, okay, but if you're going to cover that story, you got to be careful. Professor Challenger nearly killed the last 3 reporters.
And we, ran with this meme the whole time. One of the great things of silent films is you can easily make commentary as you go.
Well, see, the thing was, we were at first like, oh, yeah, he nearly killed them. We'll get to this again later.
Well, just in a moment, because some fresh-faced young reporter guy stumbles in, and I don't remember anyone's name except Challenger.
Why would you need to remember anyone else's name?
But he's like, oh, I'll go see about Challenger.
We meet Challenger. He looks insane.
He's like a lion. He's got a real mane full of hair.
He has a mane full of hair, and it's all messed up, and he looks like he's been drinking, but he looks like a functional drunk, partially.
Yeah, well, like not drunk like he wobbles on his feet, but like a boxer with lots of hair.
Imagine if Gimli hated people.
Yeah, and was taller. Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if Gimli had an evil twin brother, and that's not far off from what Professor Challenger is like.
Except he's also a good guy, but he's just very angry good.
He's a good guy.
He's angry good.
You know that if the opportunity presented itself, he would join the bad side just so he could murder more people.
That's how we take the meme.
But it's not that far off, really, because... Okay, so, he's saying, okay, I need a crew of people, and no one's volunteering.
Well, we should say first that the journalist guy shows up and pretends he's not a journalist, and there's, a crowd of 100 people, and Challenger's, standing there, and people are mocking him, like, hey, Challenger, you're full of crap, and you didn't actually find dinosaurs in the jungle. And he's just like, you know what? I'm not even going to defend my statements. You all can come with me to look at the dinosaurs in the jungle. You're like, yeah, are you man enough to see these dinosaurs? And then he's like,
"Are you bad enough dudes to rescue the president?"
Yeah, pretty much. And then he's like, I need volunteers. And, one guy volunteers. I'm a scientist. I'll come see the dinosaurs. And then our hero, so to speak, volunteers. Oh, sure, I'll come with you. And Challenger's pretty polite. He's like, oh, what's your name? And you're writing it down. And what's your profession? I'm a journalist.
Ah! We're not joking here. The next thing he does, he practically flips over the table and starts storming into the crowd, which are parting like the Red Sea. The guy starts fleeing for his life into the street while Challenger is chasing him like a madman. We're not making this up. Yeah. He literally looks like he's going to kill the guy and start eating his remains.
It's hilarious. It's just like, I hate all journalists, even the ones that help me or whatever.
Okay, so then the journalist does the next logical step and decides to leave and possibly try to support this in his own way.
He runs off and gets a cab and has to use a motorized vehicle to escape from Challenger, who is on foot.
And you get the sense, just by watching Challenger, that they had a car chase for at least half an hour with Challenger following on foot, wielding nothing but a sawed-off shotgun and screaming insanely the whole time.
Journalists!
You get the sense that the bobbies in the area just were like, yep, Challenger's at it again. Yes, pip pip chitty, whatever. So the journalist then does the logical thing and stays far away from Challenger, who wants to kill him. Oh wait, no, he decides to break into Challenger's house. Because that's like painting your ass red and waving in front of a bull. You're just asking to be murdered at this point.
So it's revealed a little while later that his motivation for this is that he's engaged, and his fiance won't actually marry him until he's faced death. So he has to go interview this guy, who is basically death incarnate.
You went to the interview. You were chased by Challenger, who wanted your spleen.
Yeah, apparently that's not good enough for the fiance. We're totally telling him, like, through the screen, go break up with your fiance if this isn't good enough.
Dude, you survived a meeting with Challenger. You were already, like, up there with guys who survived Chuck Norris and Mr. T.
Yeah, I think kind of like Challenger was kind of the original Chuck Norris, as far as we're experiencing it.
You're like the
I don't
guy
know what he was like in the books, but in the movie, you know.
You're like the guy who fought the Daleks with conventional weapons and lived to tell the tale. You're going to spend the rest of your life telling that story in bars and never have to buy a drink again.
So yeah, he sneaks into Challenger's house. Challenger flips out and nearly kills him again. They're like wrestling. They're falling downstairs as they
fall
wrestle.
outside.
And then it gets broken up briefly, and the guy mentions, "Oh, but I'm friends with so and so," and Challenger's like, "Oh, why didn't you say so? All right, we're friends now." You're like, wait, what?
You get the feeling that this guy's not only a professor because the alternative was pissing him off. Well, I'm afraid we can't allow you to be a professor. What's that? I mean, please don't eat my family.
As they said in XKCD, the best thesis defense is a good thesis offense. So in conclusion,
You get the sense that he made his thesis presentation while soaked in blood.
Yeah.
And absolutely no one was murdered that day. They just were like, where did the blood come from?
Yeah.
But anyways, then it's revealed that Professor Challenger is following the notes of a colleague. And this colleague has a beautiful daughter.
Who is the obvious love interest of that guy who nearly got killed twice.
I will say this about her, though. She's not nearly half as bad as the woman from King Kong.
Yeah, that's true.
The original.
She's an adventurer on her own. I mean,
I literally named the woman from King Kong the Screaming Lady when I did a review of this for film class.
Oh. Okay,
I literally did not know her name, and all I could remember about her was their ear-splitting shrieks.
Yeah, I can see why that would annoy you. Yeah.
But this woman,
I mean, honestly, she doesn't do much. She's not an action girl, but she is brave enough to go venturing into this jungle and following her father's footsteps a bit.
So that's pretty
So
nice.
that's something. The Screaming Girl was just there to shoot a movie, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? That's not quite as adventurous.
Yeah. So anyways, they go and they first see a pterodactyl.
Yeah, I'm looking at these very primitive stop-motion stuff. I'm sure it was high-tech at the time.
Oh, it was absurdly high-tech at the time. It actually inspired later films like King Kong.
Right.
And kicked off a revolution in special effects.
Wow. Challenger! You can only go so many seconds before you just bring that up again.
Yeah.
So they have to get to the top of this plateau, which has absurd geography. There's like this sheer, like the plateau itself is a sheer cliff. But then there's this other, like, pinnacle nearby for no reason, exactly one tree trunk length away.
And there happens to be a tree trunk on this side of the thing.
Yeah, so we have to chop it down and knock it over, and somehow it stays there, and walk over the log and not fall off and die.
But as soon as they're over, a brontosaurus or a brachiosaurus, a long-necked plant eater, comes over and it knocks over
just like clearly just to be a dick. Like he's not munching on the leaves or something. He's like, "Now you will never leave the plateau." Knock. They're like, okay. And so now we're trapped.
And so then we start looking at other dinosaurs, specifically an Allosaurus, which goes on a freaking murder spree. It's the Professor Challenger of its day.
Yeah, it just kills everything. Like it doesn't eat anything. It kills and then it just kills the next thing.
Yeah, dude, it's like it's playing the Oregon Trail, and it's that one guy who decided to play the game Oregon Trail and bought nothing but bullets. You know that they're not going to. You know, as soon as he exits the hunting screen, he's going to get the sign, "You shot 46,000 pounds of meat. You were only able to carry 200.
Yeah.
This place will smell like death for centuries to come."
Yeah. Well, and then eventually the love interest thing is going on, and basically the guy's like, "You know what? My fiance is stupid, and by the way, she's not here anyway. We're trapped on this place forever. Let's get married. Well, you can be my fiance."
Which, okay, I can sort of see where he's coming from. On one hand, his fiance is far away. That he does think he's trapped here forever. On the other, he probably doesn't think he's going to live to see tomorrow between Lizard Challenger and Human Challenger.
And also, that fiance was a dick to him because she was like, "You haven't faced enough death today. I'm sorry. I require this much death before I marry a man."
You must face at least this much death to ride.
Oh,
I'm
dear.
sorry.
Oh,
You must
dear.
face at least this much death to
Oh,
ride.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Bow, wow.
I'm moving on. So yeah,
Well, he
if
did.
they very quickly they feel like they're trapped forever. Like, scout the rest of the plateau maybe, because it totally turns out you can escape the plateau if you have a monkey. This is true. This is the secret escape route is a monkey.
Yeah, they have like a pet monkey that, for some reason, at the base of the plateau, there is a white guy and a white guy in blackface.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And, it wouldn't be that bad. If it was just a white guy in blackface talking really racist style, that would be offensive, but I could accept that.
For the
What
time.
what I found really silly, and just made it crosses the line twice territory, was that, remember, this is a silent film, so whenever the guy in blackface spoke, they wrote out all his words in the most stereotypical,
heavily accented way possible. Yeah.
yeah, that says that this guy is an imbecile, and he's like,
Yeah.
hasn't been educated by his white masters.
Yeah. I
Mr.
mean,
S-
at least his monkey
Mr. S-
saves the day. But yeah.
Yeah, so...
But yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and another really weird thing, throughout the whole film, they have like normal monkeys, well, chimps and apes and stuff.
Yeah. What was with that?
And they have one guy who is clearly in a chimp suit running around
And just
for no
just
reason.
staring at them like, I am the guy in the monkey suit. And they cut away and like other stuff happens. Like, why is that guy even here?
Why are you here? Why did they... Look, we pay good money for the monkey suit, and the guy in the blackface wouldn't wear it. So you're wearing the monkey suit, damn it!
Oh gosh. So the Allosaurus, Apatosaurus.
What?
No, what's the one that's like a T-Rex? That starts with an A?
Allosaurus.
Allosaurus. What's the Apatosaurus? That's the
That's the
duck-billed
long-necked one.
one. Is that the long-necked one?
It's...
What's the duck-billed one?
That's Myosaurus.
Myosaur. Alright, whatever. The Allosaurus gets into a fight with a Brontosaurus or Brachiosaurus, whatever you prefer.
Or
Sauropod.
Brontosaurus.
Brontosaurus. Didn't I say Brontosaurus?
Well,
first?
Brachiosaurus and Apatosaurus are two different things. Brontosaurus and Apatosaurus are the same creature. It's just that they have different names.
Oh.
One's the Apatosaurus is the official one, but Brontosaurus is still one that most people recognize.
I'm gonna go with gets into a fight with Littlefoot's dad.
That's
This is how it all began, folks. The Land Before Time was not millions of years ago. It was during the time of Challenger.
What happened to the rest of the dinosaurs? Challenger happened to them.
Oh, but it's great because the T-Rex thing has been going around killing everything, and then it gets in the fight with this one Brontosaurus that is fighting back for like a long time, and we started nicknaming that one Challengersaurus because it just wouldn't give up. And then finally it gets fighting some fights, and it gets knocked off the side of the plateau. Spoiler alert, survives the fall.
It's the Challengersaurus. You think mere falls could kill him?
Yeah. And then, so, the people at the base camp are like, oh, we'll send the monkey up to you with, like, a string, and, somehow this leads us to be able to construct a rope ladder.
Actually, that's not that far.
Yeah, I imagine you can do that. I'm just not sure exactly how it works.
Well, actually, I was thinking they throw up a small string, and then they use that to pull up a big, heavy rope.
Right.
Because that's what they do at docks.
Yeah, or even a pre-constructed ladder, right.
Yeah.
Because they did mention building a ladder all night. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So they pull up this ladder, and then for some reason everything's on fire. I think there was a volcano
There was
or
a
something.
volcanic eruption, and things started dying. And then as they're trying to get down, the monkeys come back, and they're starting to try to get rid of the rope.
Because they're just dicks that way, I guess.
Yeah, and so they fire up at the monkeys, and the guy in the monkey suit is hit, and he dies.
That guy in the monkey suit.
Yeah, I'm sure glad we had that plot point to keep us going.
I don't know.
And so Professor Challenger, blackface dude, white porter dude, the
Journalist dude. girl dude.
Honey, are we getting married today?
You know, there just needs to be more intersex people in fiction. I say we need a girl dude, but all right.
Yeah, but and the old professor dude who went with them to prove them wrong, to prove Professor Challenger wrong because he's apparently suicidal.
I don't know, whatever. Anyway, they all come down the ladder eventually.
And they say, hey, look over there, a brontosaurus or a dinosaur. We should take it, and we should bring it back to London and show it off to show that we were right.
And by the way, it's stuck in the mud somehow. Because even though it can totally handle an Allosaurus and a fall off a sheer cliff, mud is its one weakness.
And you know what's the really amazing part? They don't show any of how they transported this fucking thing.
They mentioned, like, oh, well, wait till the river gets... And some other guy walks by, by the way. Like, hello, I've been walking through this jungle. Oh, look at that dinosaur you have.
And then they're in London months later.
Months later. And then Challenger's in that same place where he met the journalist guy who's giving a speech. And he's all like, so the monster will be here briefly, and you will all see that I was right. And then the journalist guy gets on the phone. Yeah, everything went wrong, and the Brontosaurus escaped. And Challenger's like, everyone, don't panic, the thing escaped, I'll deal with it. And he's like, runs out like he's gonna go punch this thing.
Okay, first, they all say, we knew this was a fake, and they all start leaving. And it's like, wait, it's escaped. Why aren't you panicking at the thought of a giant monster
What we really wanted to do, what wanted to happen, was for them to all to be like, that's a hoax, that's not real at all. We need to see it firsthand, Challenger. And he'd be like, fine then. And it just burst through the wall behind him, and he wouldn't even flinch, and he'd be like, there it is. That did not happen, but we wished it did.
So what happens next is a Brontosaurus, for no reason, rampaging through the streets, wrecking buildings.
Just because it feels like it, because it's Challengerosaurus, obviously.
Sadly, we do not get to see the scene where Challenger decides to just rip his shirt off, revealing the most chiseled man alive, and decides to get into a fist fight with it, because that would have probably ended all cinema right there, because really, what else
can we do? And then it gets onto, like, London Bridge, or one of those bridges. There might be several bridges, I don't know.
Okay, there's probably a lot of bridges.
There's a lot of bridges, but this one falls down, as per the namesake of London Bridge.
And then it decides to swim away.
And everyone's like, oh, it's swimming, I guess the city is safe now.
Yeah, you know.
It's not like we have any shoreline here in England.
Oh, yeah, it's not like France is... Actually, they're English, so they probably wouldn't mind if the monster was loose in France. But yeah, so... So, yeah, that was The Lost World.
You know what would be really great is...
That's how it ends. They just, like, the dinosaurs swimming away, the end.
Yeah, I guess that's how Godzilla ended, too. The most recent one, at least.
Okay, but, yeah, but that was after we kind of accepted him as a hero.
Yeah,
and he was pretty much weakened, so we were sure that we could probably take him.
I'd never be so sure with Godzilla, but
good point, but still.
Yeah, it just, I would like to see, I know there were like 4 Challenger books, I think it was 4 books of Challenger, and I would like
You mean the 4 Lost World books?
No, 4 Professor Challenger books. I think one of them was called The Lost World. And then he did other amazing things in these other books.
Oh my god, I have to find these.
I know.
Professor Challenger punches everyone.
I just want him to, like, in the books or in the films of the books, wouldn't it be great if they did all the sequels, and in every movie at some point that Brontosaurus just walks through the background and smashes stuff, and, like, people accept this as normal. It's like, is that Brontosaurus? Like, yeah, wait, we'll walk over here, I can hear you better.
Oh, man. So, yeah, we picked this up, like, real cheap at a,
It's like a Goodwill, but it was different. What
was
like
a dollar store or something.
It was like, it was like 3 movies on this one disc.
Okay,
should we just review the other ones while we're at it?
I was going to suggest that.
Okay.
The second one, which we also liked, it was an old Superman cartoon.
Yeah, what was the name of that? The Beast of the one where there was a big old T-Rex-ish thing frozen in ice.
There was a big T-Rex thing frozen in ice, and for some reason they decided to bring this to Metropolis.
To, like, study it, but they're like, if the refrigeration stops, it could wake up. And then this one oil can falls into the machine, and suddenly, holy crap, it takes 30 seconds to dethaw.
Yeah, dude, I mean, did you people never hear of backups or using the city's power grids?
Or just studying it where it was and not in the middle of everything? Also, I mean, if they said they knew it was alive, so how it could be alive, I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean... No one has ever successfully been revived from cryogenic freezing, and that's with modern science.
Yeah.
I somehow don't think that Godzuki here decided to wander into the Arctic, get its ass frozen, and then was suddenly able to walk it off.
Yeah. That'd be interesting if he dethaws and just falls over.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. But anyways, so next thing on our list, okay, but naturally this is a Superman story, so you want to hear about that.
Oh, yeah, so
No, we
Superman
should-
beats it up.
We should do an MST3K of this,
Of all those, or just Superman?
just the Superman.
We could do all the Superman cartoons, actually, eventually. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll do that next. Well,
Yeah,
you know better than us, people in the future. Possibly.
So anyways, Lois and Clark are sent by Perry to take a look at this thing.
I swear I spent 10 seconds going, wait, wasn't it Lewis and Clark? No, wait, I'm doing that thing again. That'd be great. Lewis and Clark show up, and Superman and Lois take the day off.
Yeah, and then
And then Challenger.
Clark pulls open his shirt. He is Super Frontierman. It's like exactly the same, except he has a big S on his shirt and a coonskin cap.
Wow.
Dun 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 dun. Fighting Bigfoots.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so basically Superman
Lex
punches a
Bigfoot
thing
Luthor.
a lot.
Lois Lane, we learn, has the survival instincts of a lemming.
I think we knew that already, but yeah.
But okay, maybe I was confused because in recent years they've at least tried to make her semi-competent. Superman the Animated Series had her be at least more blasé about it, be more daring,
Well, she was pretty. She does have this attitude of like, I'm the journalist and here I go, and like, it's almost either she's really stupid or she's so damn confident in Superman, justifiably so, that she's just not afraid anymore. Like, yep, you'll save me. It's good.
So, the 1 week that Superman's down with the cold, because
Yeah.
the human...
The Kryptonian cold. Or something.
Yeah, she's going to just get obliterated.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Yeah, so Superman beats up the monster and stuffs it in a zoo.
He beats up the monster and, like, ties it to the ground and makes a park out of it. And they have, like, the newspaper headline, New Park! And, like, people just walking around this still alive monster that's been tied down with, like, twisted lampposts or something.
Okay, and yeah, I think that, like, PETA would have a problem with this, bare minimum.
Yeah, I think even scientists would have a problem with this. Try not to, twist the thing so it breaks its back. Maybe we should just freeze it or something. If apparently we can do that. Anyway, the other thing on this disc...
I'm looking for the DVD box set.
Well, the name of it was The Giant Gila Monster.
Oh, yeah.
Which I found boring.
I also thought it was boring, too.
It's,
It was
because
like
with Challenger we got, like, this just wildness, at least here and there.
Yeah, but this one... Well, it was this horror movie about how, there's a giant Gila monster.
Which is like a basic lizard, so you know. It's just a lizard. It's bigger.
Yeah, it's not really that scary of a thing.
Yeah, it's that in case you're confused, that is actually the name of the thing in real life. An ordinary sized lizard that's called the Gila monster. But now in the movie it's big.
Yeah, and so for some reason, trust me, I've seen lizards move. I've owned lizards. They do not move that fast unless there are crickets involved.
And even this one was going very slow, honestly, for what you needed to build the suspense.
And so they always had the Gila monster shows up, and this person and the people freak out, and then just as a car left behind. Because it got them while they were in their cars. It doesn't, like, kill people and then leave, like, a sedan where they were.
That would be interesting.
The giant Gila monster. On one hand, he's killing our teenagers. On the other hand, he's reviving the American auto industry. Okay, so it follows, I'm going to call him Biff because I don't remember his actual name.
Yeah, neither do I.
He's surprisingly well developed, I thought.
The main guy, yeah.
A bit on the Mary Sue side. I mean, he's like, oh, I'm the tough guy, but the cops trust me to help them with investigations, and I practically run my own mechanic shop, and I have a hot, sexy foreign French girlfriend.
Look this up, by the way. That actress actually got Miss France in the Miss Universe competition.
Nice.
So yeah, they really did go for the let's get a hot girl on the scene thing.
And like he has a little sister. Oh, but wait, the little sister had like polio or something and couldn't walk. Something
similar, yeah.
And so she had surgery or something. And he's been saving all his money so she could get surgery. But it turns out that he has a really great singing voice. So a record producer guy hears him singing while working on the car and offers him a job working as a singer. And the only song we ever hear him sing is this really stupid Bible song about how the Lord gave us the gift of laughter.
Yeah, which has nothing to do with a horror movie at all.
Yeah, and it's like something you'd play to kids at like vacation Bible camp or something.
Exactly. That's
Now,
exactly
I really
what it
kind of
was.
wanted during the middle of this song the Joker to bust in and start blasting Smilex everywhere.
Wow, that'd be
And
ironic.
the Lord said, laugh. Yes, laugh!
Well, eventually we had a Gila monster coming through a wall. That was nice.
It was, oh my god. And all the scenes with the Gila monster were just so very stupid. Because there are these empty cars, no signs of forced entry that a Gila monster would need in order to, get
Eat
inside the
occupants,
car.
yeah.
There's no sign of blood. So this is like the cleanest monster ever.
Yeah.
Seriously, Slender Man doesn't leave this clean of an environment after he's done.
Yeah. I don't know. They wanted to do a horror movie, but they didn't want to have any blood. Good luck with that.
Okay, so at the end of the movie, all the teens are in this barn listening to the guy play his stupid fucking song about laughter.
And they were just dancing to something more appropriate for the 50s, but now it's like, nope, we're listening to the Bible song.
Yeah, and suddenly the Gila monster starts to push its way in. This takes like 5 minutes for it to partially stick its head through a very small crack in the wall.
Yeah.
And then it pulls out and walks away.
Well, it kind of, hung around for a little bit, but then, it just is so silly.
And then they blow it right. And then they.
And then the guy gets this nitroglycerin that he happens to have lying around.
They did
'cause-
establish that at the beginning.
I know,
of the
but
film.
still, some guy just happened to walk into his shop 2 days earlier and be like, I have this nitroglycerin we should put in the shed. Oh, okay. And then he just has
So he
that.
loads a bunch of nitroglycerin onto a truck. I mean, no, onto his hot rod, which he has because he fixes and races hot rods too. Don't be stupid. And pretty much tapes the gas pedal down, rams it into the Gila monster, and jumping up before it explodes, and then the Gila monster explodes. So that was kind of a cool ending, but
It took a long while to get there. The Lost World, by the way, was only like an hour. And this was like for a full 2 hours, I thought, or it felt like that. I don't know.
the runtime of The Lost World was 52 minutes,
Yeah, less than an hour.
and the giant Gila monster was 74 minutes.
That felt more like 2 hours, I have to tell you.
Yeah. So one thing I was surprised at was for a horror movie, it seems, well, it developed the characters well.
It gave time to them. It's true. They actually had this conflict going on with the sheriff and how strict should he be with the law, and he's got this judge on his back who's like the father of the first guy to get killed. And then the judge actually changes his mind by the end, and he realizes the sheriff has been doing the right thing, and you're like, okay, it's kind of interesting, I guess.
It wouldn't be a bad slice of life.
It just, the horror bit was kind of tacked on. It was
Yeah.
like, it's just life in a small town. By the way, there is a giant monster, and the Lord said, laugh. Children laugh, the
Oh
Lord
no,
said...
the Gila monster's coming at us very, very, very slowly.
I had the impression that the guy playing Biff was like a previously known singer, and they just wanted to make a movie that involved this singer. But then I looked it up, and there's no indication that was actually the case. I don't know, maybe they were just, they're trying to cover all possible bases.
So yeah, for a slice of life film, this might not have been bad. As I
It's
said.
still boring, actually, but...
Yeah, but I find
Well-
slice of life films pretty boring. So
see, I mean, whatever. I
And
can
I
name all
will-
sorts of other slice of life things.
I will freely admit, it was made in a different era of film and storytelling. They had different ways of telling stories and getting messages across. And, you should try to keep that in mind whenever watching something older. For example, classic Doctor Who has a vastly different storytelling style than modern Doctor Who.
That much slower, yeah.
Well, yeah, it was a half-hour show spread out over several weeks, so...
Yeah.
Which has its advantages and its disadvantages.
Yeah.
You can tell a far more complex story that way, but, yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah. Lost World Original. Go see it for the awesome Professor Challenger. I'm serious.
Yeah, that's basically the point of this review.
I have to go find... Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go find all the books about Professor Challenger and what I assume are his adventures punching everything in the world.
Yay! All right. I think
Did you
it's,
know that do you know why dragons don't exist? Why is the... Did you know that dragons don't exist? Well, of course, they've never existed. Well, not anymore. Wait,
Challenger.
the Challenger murders dragons.
It's just a good name too.
Yeah.
And by the way, from the same author that brought us Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, seriously.
So the
original
total
books-
other side of the spectrum.
Yeah, dude, it was... Oh, Sherlock Holmes and Professor Challenger team up.
There's a buddy cop film for you.
Yes.
Sherlock could be like examining the clues, and then Challenger is already punching something. Just
a new body. Oh, Challenger.
Sherlock Holmes versus Challenger, maybe.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes wouldn't be needed. It would just be...
Yeah, it'd be pretty obvious who did it.
It'd
yeah.
be these guys with fist impressions in their faces, and it's like, yeah, this is Challenger.
Challenger versus the journalists.
I would love to turn Challenger loose on a modern press conference. Hey, it might get some people who actually know what they're doing out there.
That would be interesting. That would yeah. If he specifically snaps at stupid questions. How does this reflect the? How is this reflected in social media? You know.
Oh God, my spleen! I need that to do whatever a spleen does. I'm assuming. Wait,
Yeah.
what does a spleen do?
I don't know what a spleen does.
Oh, I think that the spleen produces blood sugar. If you remove it, you're a diabetic.
Huh.
I think.
Well, we'll leave it to Challenger to figure it out.
Why would Challenger be interested? He knows that if he removes it, people feel pain and then die.
Right. Yeah, that's whatever the implication. Okay, I think that's about it though. So
So yeah, well, I'm Sith King.
and I'm Sonic Sons.
We're signing off.